It's time for one last run of Mirror of the Lake. It's going offline tomorrow, so why not? Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekmek. I've saved up a lot of Starlight. I mean, what else could I spend it on, right? But yeah, I've saved up a lot of Starlight. We can go in with Starting Ego Gift, Triumphant Return, and Rights. Our charge team, like always, is what we're going to be bringing. We can bring all of our ego gifts because we spent all of this Starlight. And it's also going to immediately give us the... Yep, if you pick a gift category, then it'll always give you the free tier 4 from that category. Although I don't know how the new version is going to handle. Apparently, they didn't like how people were randomizing their starting pools, so they're making it so that it'll always give you the same starting set. I can respect that. But yeah, this obviously isn't going to be me explaining every little bit. I'm going to skim over most of this. So, but who knows what we'll see. Maybe it'll be something funny. Of course, the upside to all this is actually that we have a starting 5 charge for every run, but we also gain charge just from anyone using a proper charge skill. Dang it, I'm always forgetting to take off Ryoshu's skill too. It's just not productive to this set. But yeah, see you when we see something interesting. Oh, right. Charge type gloves. Max charge count plus 10. This might be the one time we actually get to see the plus 20 extra damage part of Don Quixote's electric screaming ego. Okay, now we actually start. Indistinguishable space probably counts. Oh, it's Wayward Passenger. You see a poor passenger stranded between dimensions. Most people will never realize this person ever disappeared. Well, the transport company would know, but they'll simply pretend the passenger never existed. Lost and abandoned, tossed out like trash, having no place left in the city. It's a very easy skill check and it's a very good ego gift. I always take it. Gloom and Sloth advantage, so let's see. Oh, we could always have Base Mersault try it. Yeah, we get a guarantee with the W Core Forced. As soon as it's shown where to go, it runs in that direction. You notice it dropped something as it began to sprint? A blue lighter with a Wings logo on it. You heard stories of that wing providing its employees with supplies like this. It would seem that it was an employee of the transport company, not a passenger. Blue Zippo lighter earned. At the start of the turn, gain 1 Gloom Ego and 2 resources of other random affinities. Gloom is used for so many fantastic ego, you just always want to pick it up. Anyway, his Spiral of Contempt. Blood pours from above. The land of gold lies beyond. The spiral ahead loudly screeches. It must have reached this depth after burrowing and burrowing. Although it has no eyes, it creaks to face you. Avert your eyes. Wrath and Gloom advantage. 1 in 4, where we can do this. The whirling spiral slows down, showing forgiveness. Reverence for a being of no significance is followed by a slight self-contempt. The spiral descended out of sight in the meantime. Perversion earned. After defeating one or more enemies using an attack skill, gain 1 ego resource of that attack skill affinity at the next turn. But if it's Wrath, gain +1 ego resource of all affinities instead. And we have the Dense Quietness. Unlike fusion gifts, we can actually upgrade these. We currently start at 5 charge count, but we can go for 6 charge count or 8 charge count. 8 charge count being enough that we can hit Mind Whip on turn 1. So that's going to be fun. Increase the charge count we get for the employee card. Increase the damage up that we get for the wrist guards. So interesting to note that Curriculum Vitae gives us charge count gives us haste or haste and power at turn end. So we aren't going to get this effect, but all things considered, unless we decide to use Mind Whip on turn 1 like I just said, we should always have this on turn 2. The damage up isn't too impressive, but it's better than nothing. Alright, Blunt. Blunt might be a problem. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure that Blunt is a problem. I'm pretty sure that Blunt means that we're going to be facing Guido. No, it's the G-Corps soldiers. I much prefer that, because Guido always freaking starts with the full party in 2 skill slots. It's not fair. I mean, look at this! Ryoshu, I'm pretty sure she used her skill 1 last turn, and she can already hit her skill 3. And that's gonna be on the boss. Granted, 129 isn't enough to kill the boss, but it's still impressive.
전투에 임하겠습니다. 지금이 기회인 것 같소. 다음은 어디요?
Oh, if that last one had been heads, that might have actually been a kill. It didn't take into account staggering the target.
전투에 임하겠습니다.
The thing is that the bosses you can get for floor 1 range from G-Corps, which is at the very start of the game and have terrible coin power versus you, all the way up to Kanto 4 bosses. Granted, the strongest thing you can fight as a Kanto 4 boss is... wait, no, not Kanto 4, Kanto 5. The strongest thing you can fight there is the Twin Hooks, so that's Smee and co, but... I think I'll give them extra HP because Talisman Bundle is a lot of fun when you fully charge it up, even on a charge team. Okay, what do we have? Bloody Gadget, instant buy. Dreaming Electric Sheep, actually pretty decent for this one. What else? I'll say hit refresh. all things that are really cool, but only in combination with what we had previously. Darn. Okay, take the upgrade to Ryoshu's skills, although granted, Lust is going to be a consistent problem with this team, I remember that clearly.
기차와 같이 달려나가겠소.
Anyhow, if this isn't an interesting... Ooh, this is nasty. Level 44 T-Class Collectors. Ryoshu can evade that easy. You not so much. This is why it's nice to get the... This is why it's nice to get the Zippo lighter, because we can just use Fluid Sac with a lot less concern. Instant Mind Whip, why not?
신속히 처리하죠.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be resisted, but... Actually, they're all weak to slash, not blunt. As long as he flips tails once, we could get that. Anyway, this is just gonna be garbage, so catch you on the next side. Okay, what's waiting for us here? Wrath? Blunt. I do not remember off the top of my head.
기차와 같이 달려나가겠소.
Oh boys, the Pride bots. Nothing that interesting here. Although I guess it could be fun to watch the hilariously big numbers. And I kind of want to throw out Body Sack, although we aren't getting any kills, so he's not going to get any bonuses. I do kind of want to give him a speed boost, but I guess we can't really do that here. I think the more important thing is to throw out some bind here and there to slow down his buddies, because those guys roll pretty high with their surgery buff. Like 2 to 5. Getting guaranteed haste on top of that is not nice.
이상 승객을 정리합니다.
Of course, the number that we actually want to see is Ishmael turn 1 smashing with the Mind Whip. Oh, You defeated the enemy, but it's back up again. What is going on? If I were worried about these coins at all, I'd have called that a bad move, inflicting paralyze on someone who is known to have negative coins, but we're at the point where our resources are fairly decent, so we can just pull out some killer ego whenever we want. The attack down makes up for the paralyze. How do these cyborgs keep coming back? The sinners were discussing. Investigate the factory. And for some reason there's a glitch now where it skips past the first part of the text. You decide to check out the factory, but you might want to do something about cyborgs first just to be safe. He's only got 2 skill slots. Ouch. And we're rolling 8s on our speed. I might have overstated the abilities of these guys. Look at that! 5 minus 0, 9 minus 0. These are not decent. These are not things to be worried about. Especially since we're going to trigger electric screaming right here. Because reminder, Dreaming Electric Sheep, Envy Absolute Resonance, 2 offense level up. Although I guess in Mirror Dungeon Hard, the offense level doesn't stay that impressive because enemies start getting absurd levels in the final floor. Heaven help you if you decide to pick a risky encounter.
터졌군요.
303 damage! Oh, it didn't kill. Pinning down the cyborg as planned. Do you love the city you live in? What should you press? So this is what I'm talking about. We hit no. Proceed. It immediately skips past the first part. You must be strong. Pressing the button 3 times will shut down the facility. Still no. We pushed it 3 times. Yeah, you can't really see you can't see the dialogue anymore. I'm surprised people haven't been complaining about it on the forums. I guess because they really don't like this boss fight. But yeah, that's still a pretty pushover fight. So I'll see you at the next interesting. I guess the choice I make for beating these guys is going to be important. Victory! I've been trying out other gacha games and I'm slightly disgusted by how much they curb your abilities in comparison. Okay, so nothing here is good. We either get final power, base power, or offense level up. All of those are horrible. I guess we pick whatever is nicest, which means Eclipse of Scarlet Moths. That can be kind of hilarious if you... That can be pretty strong. So, we can take a rest, we can enhance our gifts again. Enhance the Talisman bundle to give us the extra rupture count on slash attacks. The Bloody Gadget because that gives us 2 damage up. Or 4 damage up if you have a Lust skill. Only one person has a Lust skill though. And give us the Rusted Muzzle Plus for the bleed potency and count on slash. Oh, I keep forgetting to do a very important thing. You want to use one of your rest stops to give 45 sanity to Utis. because she's going to be necessary for beating certain random event skill checks.
정리 시간이다.
She's the only person that can roll high enough to tell the truth to the Cyclops in the hospital area. Okay, we have Twin Hawks Pirates. Honestly, evade skill. We have plenty of resources, we can afford a blind obsession. +6 is not a nice number, so... Honestly, let's try see if we can set up a teleport resonance combo. Give charge count to all allies by Envy Resonance. We have an Envy Resonance of 2 that gives Ryoshu 1 extra base power on her charged evade, so that should work out well for us. Let's just hope he hits a tails.
신속히 처리하죠.
Ah,
전부 찢어버리겠네.
anyhow, nothing interesting happening in this fight, so start skimming ahead. Oh, I guess after we do this.
조명이 전멸하는 저곳으로 파도가 모든 것을 쳐부술 거다.
The one advantage that I have with Soda here is that it means that when we start killing people, we will get a full SP refund for using those egos at the start. That's nice.
자,
But Soda is still a pretty bad healing ego.
만선이에요.
They still want to give me Chard within a flask, huh? Okay, moving on. More trash mobs. See you later.
전투 시작합니다.
Okay, so you may or may not have noticed that I have something a little interesting. If this fight goes an extra turn, then I will actually show it.
내가 눈에 새겨주지. 벌써 끝나가는
핫.
Not worth it. We'll do it another time. Okay, so this is the monkey tree. Though the tree is unmoving, it seems to want something. You can choose to snap the twig for a penalty to the party, or you can choose to sprinkle water. Sprinkle water is I might have gone over this one before, but whether it works or not is random, so you could be here for quite some time. With another go and look around, the tree appears more alive than you first thought. The foreboding aura disappeared at some point too. Could you really have quenched its age-long thirst? The twig rustled and came to you. Gave you a handful of gifts as a token of its gratitude. So we get the Thunder Branch, which increases the Rupture potency and count when we inflict Rupture potency with our skill attacks, or allies heal for 30 HP and SP. That's a pretty significant boon. Anyway, we have our innately walk reflection. This is our floor 3 boss, and it is the trash crabs, of course it is. So the thing is that they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attack skills lined up. That's annoying. For 3 turns, lose 10 SP at turn end. Next turn, gain Before the King in Binds and attack power up. Ironically, I think he might actually have enough haste to just barely avoid. Wait a minute. 20 bind, no. Forget I said anything. 20 bind is not that easy to get around. Okay, let's rock.
눈에 새겨주지.
환상의 세계로
It's plausible that we might stagger the artillery crab before it gets a chance to move. It's not guaranteed, but it is possible.
총원, 조명이 전멸하는 저곳으로. 파도가 모든 것을 쳐부술 거다.
It's a shame that gives away Pierce power up because nobody's using a Pierce attack this turn.
나는 이 왕좌에 묶여 홀로 통치하는 자일지니.
이 전투는 승리할 거야.
이 파도 속에서 움직일 수 있는 오직 나다. 깨어져라.
Actually, we just flat out killed that crab. Let's see if the Before the King in Binds damage it can give this Crab King something to think about. Ah, he's still aiming the shield at Ryoshu. I was hoping he'd aim it at the other crab or someone else, but eh.
지금이 기회인 것 같소.
씹는 맛이 있는데?
Oh dear, and the damage overflowed into killing the crab. Whoops. Oh, standard duty battery! No, I shouldn't. But I just want to point out that with the two ego gifts that we already have with Talisman Bundle and Thunder Branch, under any other circumstance, Standard Duty Battery would be an instant pick because it can be made for the Rupture Fusion gift, but that's not really as good as just having the Standard Duty Battery. So instead we're getting the Material Interference Force Field, which does give us Charge Barrier. It's the same one we get in the... Actually, Special Contract. Special Contract is what we'll go for because that's actually really brutal. And we have turn start, NV damage to all enemies, or we could have... Ornamental Horseshoe would only be really good if we get our hands on the Nebulizer, so let's just go for the all general purpose Voodoo Doll. Green Spirit and Bell of Truth is tempting, but we don't really have any tremor counterpliers, so I don't feel safe taking it. Sun Shower is an instant pick. Blood, Sweat and Tears is pretty cool. Rusty Commemorative Coin has a chance of backfiring on us. I accept the risk it poses. Okay, top one because it gives us the most options for where to go. This is a dark forest full of fog and vine. An apple, rotten but still moving, runs to me in a hurry. Please help me, I need to hide. I'm just a poor tiny apple, cursed and thrown away. Before I could answer, the apple hit its small body behind my leg. Amidst the fog of the viney forest, the clop of a horse is heard. It is a giant horse made of vines. Mounted on it is a being with the head of a rose. The vine horse stands before me and lets out heavy breaths that reek of green grass. I'm on the hunt for someone who needs to be taken care of urgently. What I'm looking for is an apple that will become a princess, not knowing its rightful place. It must have passed this way. Do you know what direction it has taken? Tell the truth is kind of hard to do on skill check requirements, but it does give you the ego gift. I've never taken I Say You Don't Know. Wrath, Envy. We can do this with Ishmael. Ah. You moved your leg to the side and pointed below, to the trembling apple's dismay. Huh, got you. No, I don't want this. Stories must follow their natural courses. This is the flow we shall follow, so accept it. Picked up the tiny apple and put it on the back of the horse. This won't be needed anymore. It's the most flattering gift, but I will give it to you as a reward for letting me know. Barbed Snare earned. Inflict Rupture Potency on all enemies equal to their current speed values. When activating Lust Absolute Resonance, which we're not going to do, apply 3 Rupture Potency and 3 Rupture Count to a random enemy at combat start. It's decent enough. Rupture damage is rupture damage. Although with the amount of bind that could end up on the enemy, it probably isn't going to be that useful if we start spamming binds. Anyway, I'll see you when we get to nonsense. Where were you just a while back?
정리 시간이다.
Back to skim. Actually, wait. These guys are level 62. That's actually kind of rough for our levels, so... I mean, if they're going to give it to me now, why not, right? Especially given how many W-Core units that we have in this group, they're going to get a lot of fun out of the charge barrier. There's a massive winged marble statue. Its arms and the head are not made of stone, however. Instead, a translucent and solid light shimmers there. The shimmering mirage-like head is blowing a trumpet. One of its arms wields a blade. What could this statue be commemorating? If you aren't sure that you can beat the check, and it's a pretty harsh check, pick leave, otherwise it's going to slam the entire party with damage and SP penalty. But I know that I can beat the check because I have Ishmael. And, sorry, you're supposed to leave to get the ego gift. My bad. Mind you, this isn't exactly that easy a check to beat either. You lower your head and pray. You hear the sound of trumpets, yet you do not look up and merely take in the sound, because prayers are supposed to be like that. All allies heal 20 HP and SP.
간단하죠.
So we've actually capped SP across across everyone and can get a full power skill check on whatever we want.
차와 같이 달려나가겠어.
That's not so bad. And it's the Blazing Bull, which isn't fun to use with this party, I'll say that much. One bind next turn isn't quite what I want. I think what we want is to give Heathcliff his body sack. That way, he's likeliest to go first next turn, and therefore he can throw out his AEDD for Gloom Fragility. We can also use Snag Harpoon to slow this guy down a little bit. Oof. But that's a pretty strong... Ugh. Uptie 4 for Forest for the Flames actually makes this very good at clashing, even on the high end of Mirror Dungeon. And Leap will give us extra bind on him next turn. Oh. Right, I probably should have remembered that Snag Harpoon would get a little bit more strength due to her... due to the the Arcor passive.
내가 찾은 나만의 항해 방식.
And we have Rusty Commemorative Coin, so she's going to use it twice. 12 bind!
전부 찢어버리겠네.
$21 charge.
환상의 세계로 들어가 보죠. 무불아위.
Oh, and right, we have Sun Shower as well. That's why everything seems to be rolling 2 coin power higher than it should. It's actually got 2 base power higher. No, I don't particularly trust her. Now, something we have to keep in mind is that she is going to use this twice, so that's going to be
달려나갈 준비가 되었어.
40 SP down. Granted, you also get a little bit of it back thanks to Hong Lu's passive, but... We need to pull in big guns here. She'll have SP back from Fluid Sac, it'll be fine.
내가 눈에 새겨주지.
Donnie is the one I'm more concerned about.
무슨 색을 띠고 있는가?
Ooh, wow, she even got a critical on top of that.
그대에게 보이는 이 전기 불꽃은 무슨 색을 띠고 있는가?
I feel like a Tails it would have been more productive there, actually.
자, 변신 완료. 만선이에요. 모불아위.
이 전투는 승리할 거예요.
종원, 조명이 전멸하는 저곳으로. 파도가 모든 것을 쳐부술 거다.
Yeah, ineffective to both slash and pierce and only weak to blunt. That occasionally feels a little bit unfair. She'll gain another 2 offense level from the sheep. I don't know whether that'd be enough, so okay, I think that'll do it.
내 앞을
Back to
막을
work.
수는 없어.
자, 변신 완료. 만선이에요. 자, 변신 완료. 만선이에요.
항상 지켜보고 있었지.
And now he's gone into really gloomy mode. Oh, I actually never stopped to look at the head's weaknesses and resistances. It's actually fatal to pierce and fatal to pride. That's different to the body, huh?
이상 승객을 정리합니다.
이 전투는 승리할 거예요.
Sure, 2 heads flips in a row, I'm not complaining.
나는 이 왕좌에 묶여 홀로 통치하는 자일지니.
내가 찾은 나만의 항해 방식.
You know, the placement of the hoof there actually makes it kind of look like the Slayer. When it's positioned just right here, it kind of looks like the Slayer Coon icon. Just a tad. Maybe that's just me. Okay, so what do we have now? Melted Eyeball. Inflict offense and defense level down on enemies affected by Tremor Burst. Endorphin Kit. Base power bonus, defense level bonus, HP bonus. Honestly, I think out of everything here, the Melted Eyeball is our best pick, although Disc Fragment is the least offensive mounting trial. I feel like with how we've been throwing about Tremor Burst, it would actually be worth it. Anyhow, I'll take Helterfly's Dream, purely to ensure that I don't run into it at one of the future mystery events, although we're actually in our... on the final floor, so oof. The portable battery socket might be fun. I think I'll take the grey coat though. It's too late for the Voracious Hammer to be any use, and I feel like we've already got so much potential with the employee card. The portable battery socket is just overkill. I might as well take it, it's cheap. Yoshu's Skill 1 to Skill 2, always a nice pick. Last refresh. Lightning Rod is tempting, but like I said, we already have the charge type gloves, we don't need the Lightning Rod on top of that. Okay. Fluorescent Lamp, because it will work perfectly due to our use of the Talisman bundle. Red Order only... We do actually have just enough syncing in the party to make the Red Order worth it. We have it on Honglu and we have it on Ishmael. Granted, it's on Honglu's ego, but we've been throwing that around enough for that to be worth it. So now we're doing our best to avoid the event tiles to speed up our travel through. Ah! Okay, a whale fills the forest. You can't help but wonder what it's so sorrowful for. There's a coffin in the middle of the woods. It has been tied with multiple cords and ropes in what appears to be a desperate attempt to keep its contents from escaping. However, the coffin continues to rumble and creak. I wonder if this might be a reference to what was going to happen with Kathy. But considering this has been in the game since Mirror Dungeon 1, since the very launch, that would be a pretty long case of foreshadowing. So open the coffin to get the ego gift, provided you can meet the skill check. Honglu is best odds here. With each rope that's untied, the wail grows louder. You feel sympathy for the trapped being. Undoing the ropes, you begin to weep along with her wailing. One undone knot accompanies the sorrow. One undone knot accompanies lamentation. When the last is released, you discover there's no one inside. Perplexed, you examine the interior and find a single red-jeweled beetle. Wound cleared earned.
간단하죠.
It sounds like you should get some sort of penalty for that, but you honestly don't. Okay, take the bottom road because that gives us more options.
싱싱한 풀이 보이네.
Granted, it's against the mermaids, the politified peoples, so that's not the most ideal situation. Ouch. Yeah, this is starting to devolve into ego spam.
내가 눈에 새겨주지.
자,
Anyhow, I'll catch you when we see something interesting.
만선이에요.
There's a corridor of a large wooden mansion. Its floorboards are ancient. You can hear creaking noises approaching from a distance. Something walks in this direction. My master had a very unfortunate life. I am the butler of this house. Sad things happened here. Many sad things. I still carry my master's portrait because no one remembers them anymore. How is it? Can you see it well? Say that you can't see it well gives you the ego gift. We need someone in envy or pride. Honestly, I feel like Utis could do this. I see. If my master is gone from the painting, the memories, what shall I do? What if one day I start doubting that I ever had a master? Only the painting remains in the foyer now. Headless portrait earned.
훌륭한 작전 덕분에 승리했을 뿐입니다.
Inflict 2 singing potency on all enemies with less than 0 SP. For each envy and affinity skill used, randomly inflict 1 singing potency between all enemies next turn. I have to take the lower route. I feel like we could handle slash-based risky encounters, but I do not want to risk being forced into a second risky encounter if it has a chance of being Pierce. So yeah, catch you on the flip side. This place is like a giant scrapyard. All kinds of refuse find their way here only to be burned. The difference is that this scrapyard collects nothing but bones. Human bones, beast bones, and the bones of something that is neither human nor beast. All kinds of bones find their way here. A faint voice can be heard from the pile, but it's too feeble to be understood. Search where the voice is coming from. Shoot! You tried your best to find the source of that sound, but it was no avail. All flesh and hide were weathered away by the sands of time, and all that remains are indistinguishable. But the disembodied voice persists still. All allies without Gloom took 13 HP and SP damage.
실책입니다.
Yeah, I'll say.
정리 작업 시작합니다.
And we're actually starting to run a little bit dry on our lust resources, which makes it kind of hard to feed Fluid Sac when it really needs to be fed. Okay, last stop. Usually I don't get this on charge teams, but I feel like this time it's actually worth it. Anyway, ego gifts that I have. I can actually see a few things that I'd like to upgrade, so let's do what I usually don't. Sell some of these gifts that we don't need. We didn't really get anything that helps out with poise that much. I suppose we did get this, but okay, let's leave. We have upgrades. And we can't afford anything else. Go figure. Okay, Wrath Blunt. I don't entirely remember what this one is. Oh, it's you again. I was hoping that we'd have something interesting for our final attempt here. I thought wrong. We have to remember, this is going to overflow. This is going to... She's going to get Sun Shower buff. That's important.
다음 세상으로 넘어가려면 자, 여기구나. 다음 세상으로 넘어가려면 자, 여기구나.
I forgot to intercept, so we got... That went a lot better than it deserved to, honestly. I was supposed to intercept with someone else, but I never did.
깨어져라.
모두가 너를 잊어도 반드시 되찾을 거다.
당신의 물로 터졌군요.
Okay, so you're applying karma to him, you're applying karma to him. That gives us protection, that gives damage up. We actually can't throw away much more envy, so I think this might be something we need to use Fluid Sac against, just so we can refresh everyone's SP at the end of this turn.
내 앞을 막을 자는 없어.
환상의 세계로 들어가 보죠. 환상의 세계로
Sure, the statue doesn't look gloomy enough. Out of all the clashes, I would have preferred to go at full strength. It definitely would have been that one. Because the thing is, the first two coins of his skill 3 inflict a lot of fragile, letting him absolutely wreck things. But then he also killed the guy, so can't really complain that much, can I?
이 전투는 승리할 거예요.
Oh, you just killed your friend! You don't have an awful lot left to say, so I guess we can just go all in on splattering this guy.
자, 이분은 이쪽으로 모으고
we have to make sure that we save the right skills for next turn, so... Flashing, that's the karma ones, that's protection. Yeah, sure, why not? I feel like he's supposed to revive these parts, but they just don't seem to be.
내가 눈에 새겨주지.
But yeah, there are other hard mode bosses here. We just aren't seeing them. The most obnoxious is Blind Obsession, but you can also see two others. Who are they? Actually, no. The Refraction Railway 3 bosses, so that's Blind Obsession, the Skin Prophet, and Ambling Pearl. I think the remaining boss that could be here, of all things, it's Fey Lantern, who is kind of a joke boss compared with everything else. Don't get me wrong, it was obnoxious back in Refraction Railway 2 when it first appeared, but it's not now. Feels as though you find peace in merely looking at it. The statue seems to be embracing the agony and anguish. There is no self within, only everyone. It can only make sense that it would lose the will to fight. No man can wholly shoulder another's suffering in their stead. Before he elude by its false compassion, someone has to break the statue. And let's... Yeah, 19 is ridiculous. But if you have an actual lust skill, it's only slightly less ridiculous because it's 15. That's still really hard to beat. Ishmael shook their head. A powerful attack shattered the statue. Everyone returned to their senses.
완수했어요.
All in.
이상 승객을 정리합니다.
맘.
But yeah, what an unfortunate way to close out Mirror Dungeon hard. The same boss that we had when we first showed off Mirror Dungeons.
고맙다고 말해야.
Anyway, tomorrow is when the new patch hits, so our Purchase Night videos will begin. Until then guys, take care. I'll see you all around.
이래 배워도 난 야행성이야. 어둠은 날 더 날뛰게 해준다는 뜻이지.